Go. Hi, welcome to my channel. This is Accounting is Easy and MC Teaches. That's me. Now, I have been reading a lot of posts lately as to the question that is raised by a lot of incoming college students that can any graduate from senior high school or a senior high school graduate survive the BS accountancy program? So quite a question, but that is very valid because of course we can be asking that question depending on the situation that we are in as to what particular strand or track that we had when we graduated in senior high school. So before I go into that, dig into that question deeper or answer that, allow me to tell you as to my experience. So actually, I graduated already, and of course, I was able to go into the program, survive it, and finish it, and have the license. So that's why I can tell you from the experience. Now, these are the things that I would like to impart to you about the question. During my time, it's actually that we graduated from the junior high school that you have now. So for us before, we don't have senior high school. It's just 4 years in high school. And approximately, I was 16 years of age, which is normal, quite normal for our time then, as opposed to you, which is basically you have age of 18 years old when you graduate from senior high school from grade 12. So from there, from the fourth year high school, we transitioned to college. Now, a lot of things would actually happen. So some of the classmates are from special science schools or somewhere from special science classes. So I've heard from them, from my classmates before, that they had like basic accounting subjects, so fundamentals of accounting, which is basically the first accounting subject that you will have under the BS accountancy program. So mind you, that is just one of the many accounting subjects that you will have, but still a valid question, a very persisting question that must be answered or highlighted. So I came from a province wherein there was no access about accounting, no internet, no technology, so none at all, no idea. However, when I went into the program, basically majority of us, our classmates, did not have any slight idea about accounting. So that was actually our first listen, our first lecture, first view of everything. So there was just a few of the classmates who had basically the little background. I would just say little because they did not dig deeper also the fundamentals of accounting. So even the basics, they were not able to really dig deeper into the subject matter. But at least they have like a slight edge over us. And true enough, it surfaced later on. But not that long, I would say, since there are a lot of things also that will be taught in the subject or the course itself. Okay, so there are terms that we will be talking about. So why do I say BS accountancy program? Because in education parlance, especially in tertiary educational system, when I say tertiary, I mean the college, we call the course that we know of in regular life as basically the program in education, meaning in the academe, in college or in a university. So we call that BS accountancy program. So normally we say, what's the course? It's BS accountancy, but it is the program actually. And then the subject that we know of, like what's your subject that you are taking or currently taking, that's fundamentals of accounting or basics of accounting. In university or college, we call that the course. So what's the course? And that is fundamentals of accounting. Okay, so going back, we did not have much ideas, but then things have changed later on as we transitioned into the grading periods like midterm, semifinals to finals. So by the setup before, with my setup, hopefully you're following, guys, you're still following. So at the setup, or the setup at that time was that we were having the lesser knowledge at the onset, but it changed later on in midterms down to finals. Why? Since there are additional topics that are incorporated. So I literally asked my classmates that, like, did you discuss these, or did you have the discussions before when you were in high school? They said no. And true enough, that can be seen in the performances, in the examinations, or any activities later on. Now, that was the setup before during my time. Let's go into the setup in the current educational system in the Philippines. So before I go into that, let me go into the DepEd website for a while. So hopefully I can see that. All right, so here it is. This is the K to 12 basic education curriculum. I am taking my discussions on the Department of Education website. So this is K to 12 basic education curriculum from elementary to high school. So I'm going to focus more into the senior high school curriculum or level. So if you are from senior high school, I think you are very familiar about the different academic tracks. Then you also have other tracks, right? So correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but there are basically four, right? Four tracks in senior high school. So academic, it's here. Technical, vocational, livelihood, or TVL, or tech book. Then sports, that's the third one. And the fourth one is arts and design. So the setup was that prior to the issuance of memo by CHED is the Commission Higher Education, that is the government arm or body in charge with managing administration, regulation of the universities and colleges, whether private, sectarian, or let's just say state universities or colleges. Anyhow, so the CHED later on issued a memo which changed everything. So at the onset of the senior high school curriculum, so this was a certain law that was passed by the late or the previous, the previous, yeah, we can also say like the former or the previous one. That was ex-president Noynoy, right? So Noynoy Aquino. So he actually signed the law which paved the way for senior high school. And so the point is that by then, the senior high school is incorporated now in the educational system in the Philippines way back starting 2016. Okay, so by then we had like the four tracks, and then under the tracks there are also strands under. So we have four tracks I've explained, and the strands below such. So if we can see here on the illustration on the academic, actually there are like four also, general four. So you have ABM, Accountancy, Business and Management. You have HUM, so Humanities and Social Sciences, STEM, that's science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And then the GAS, general academic strand. But then other schools are allowed also to make their own academic tracks to be aligned to their curriculums. Example, maritime, example, criminology. So the DepEd was not able to really make such curriculum. So universities and colleges and schools had the privilege to make or craft their own. And then for textbook, there are also strands because as we all know, when we say technical vocational like the TLE, there are four areas, right? Home economics, agriculture, industrial arts, and entrepreneurship. But entrepreneurship is here in ABM. So probably the three of them, which are being subdivided more because if you say home economics, there could be many strands. So anyway, this leads us to the point as to there are a lot of tracks and a lot of strands, and then are these to be carried on or forward when they go to the college? So at that point in time, the question was really true because the senior high school curriculum was really made in order to prepare for the college, such that if you are a graduate from senior high school of ABM, Accountancy, Business, and Management, then your courses that you are going, or the programs that you are going to take, academically speaking, when you go to the tertiary level, should be aligned to ABM, right? So probably you'll be taking accountancy, accounting technology, or accounting information systems now, or management accounting, or business administration with all the majors. So those courses which are really aligned to your respective track or strand from senior high school. So that was the concept. However, realizations are made. So let me have a certain picture first before I go into. So just another picture. Okay, this one shows you the academic track and the other tracks from the senior high school curriculum. So focus on the academic track that I've said, ABM, UMS, STEM, and GAS. Guys, if you hear some noise, just disregard because I'm in somewhat industrial place, so certain noises could be coming back and forth, could be going back and forth when I discuss. So just disregard, focus on what I say or what I'm trying to impart to. Okay, going back. So in that particular picture, you can see the tracks. And then we want, supposedly at that point in time again, that the tracks should be aligned to your respective course or program in college. But it actually changed there on when SHED released a certain memo that has shown that any graduate from senior high school, whatever track, whatever strand that particular graduate is, will be allowed to take whatever course or program that he or she wanted or desired to in college. So, or in the tertiary level. So I don't know much about the specific reasons, but allegedly, here's what I think. Of course, not everybody had the opportunity to really go to a certain high school that would be aligned to the specific course or program in the college. So example, if you think of the Philippine setting, if you want, for example, ABM, not all high schools offered ABM. Not even all schools had senior high school. So that's the reality. And that's why probably Chad thought that, oh, we should be giving chances also to these students who wanted to pursue their particular careers in the future, right? So could be the choices, money matters, and etc. So a lot of things could be taken into consideration. Okay, so why am I saying this? Because that's the point that because of the allowance given by CHED, so anybody, any graduate from senior high school can proceed to accountancy, right? Long time before, if that was really followed, so only ABM graduates can really proceed to accountancy. You get the point, guys? Or even to the business courses or the accounting, management accounting courses. So that's a good thing because everybody now can do, whether you are from cookery, for example, a tech voc, or ICT, or from sports or arts and design, you can even proceed to the accountancy. Now, here's also the thing. If you go to some schools, so I'm going to like state it as a whole, guys. I'm not going to be very specific about it. So some schools would be offering the so-called bridging, because if you are from a certain track or strand that is outside ABM, not even an academic track, because UMS is under academic, but it's not ABM clearly. So if you are not from ABM, you are not able to take certain subjects which are basic to a business and accountancy course. Could be the fundamentals of marketing, could be business, management, accounting, etc. So you need to have, excuse me for a while. So you need to have a bridging course. So this bridging would really help the student to prepare. However, it's not all of the schools that actually did that. So some schools just had the same footing or ground for everyone. So meaning if you are from ABM, a graduate from ABM, that goes to show that whatever courses that you took from senior high school, then that is your edge. Okay, that's your specific advantage over the others. Okay, so my question though is how advantageous that is, for example, for the accountancy program. Okay, so let's take a look at a certain curriculum. This is not an absolute, but this is just a sample subjects that I obtained from the DepEd website, and then also with certain courses. So you've had here economics, ethics, and social responsibility. You have the accountancy, business, and management. So these are the two accounting subjects. You have business, math, finance, organization and management, marketing, and the feasibility study, or some work immersion or research. So these are the subjects taken. Now, if you think of the specific courses that really would stand out here, that would really be anchored on the BS accountancy program, and these are the two subjects: fundamentals of accountancy, business and management, or ABM 1 and 2. Now 1 and 2 actually focuses as a whole more on fundamentals of accounting that you will still have in the accountancy program. So for a lot of schools, they really like offered this as a subject. So in that sense, it will be very advantageous for those graduates from ABM, at least they have the knowledge, especially if the topics were tackled well also, no offense meant, or were covered at least by the teacher, but we do not know. So in that sense, it goes without saying also that even if you are a graduate from ABM, it doesn't mean that you will be the very successful passer of the first subject or semester. So in the first semester, probably you have like 1 or 2 accounting subjects depending on the school. So just like a portion of that you will be successful, but it doesn't guarantee, I would say, that you'll be 100% sure to survive. Because just for you to have an idea, guys, for the accountancy, there would be like for a semester evaluation. So based normally on your grade. So there is like a retention program. When you say retention from the word retain, so as to who has submitted themselves and passed the requirements set by the department or college for the accountancy, so they are going to proceed to the next semester. So that's how it goes. So does this mean that those from ABM will have the 100% guarantee that they can survive? I wouldn't say that they will have, because I've known also a lot of students, even from the non-ABM academic track, as well as the other tracks, tech, book, sports, arts, and design, who really survived the said program. So the first batch is like going third year already, this particular school year. Of course, the school year is just being postponed because of the pandemic. So, of course, we know that. We are very sad about it. Anyway, so can we say that we have the 100% assurance? We do not know. It's not yet based on the research. So what I'm going to tell you guys is that for closure of this particular session, my point or like suggestion is that if ever, for example, you really want this particular program, you really wanted to be a CPA, certified public accountant, my suggestion is that you go for it because that's your dream. If you had the opportunity or privilege, then you do your specific responsibilities as students, because if you want something to be achieved, then efforts also must be obtained. It's just that some perhaps are intelligent, they can get the points well. Some really are like average or below. But I've known also a lot of students and graduates wherein they were able to survive the program, even if they are, for example, not really honor graduates, not really like the best students from their respective senior high schools or junior high school during my time. No, it's not also an assurance, I would say. So perhaps IQ would be important, but then it's just, I would say, part of the entire picture or iceberg. So my suggestion is that the answer to this question is a yes. It's a yes that any senior high school graduate can survive to the BS accountancy program. So just believe in yourself. You can really do this if you have the determination, the courage, the commitment, the willingness, the attitude, the sense of responsibility to really do whatever it takes, for as long as legal and ethical, of course, to be able to hurdle all obstacles in the program, then you will do it and you can do it. All right, so hopefully that makes sense to you guys. And thank you very much for listening to me. This is actually my very first video that I'm going to release to my channel. So don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Okay, so I hope to see you next time. And thank you very much and bye.